Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I want to do another installment in my series where I talk about a perfume and I do a makeup look inspired by that fragrance. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. So I really think it's about time that we talk about Chanel No. 5. I went ahead and wore my most Chanel inspired dress. It is not Chanel, I wish it was, but I do think that it fits the aesthetic completely. It looks pretty iconic and I think it looks pretty nice. And quite frankly, I think I look quite amazing in it. So I thought I would wear it and just spruce myself up today and wear something fancy at home. I'm gonna go ahead and give just like a brief overview of the original perfume, talk about a little bit of the history, and then talk about my version that I like the most because there have been several different versions of No. 5 as the years have progressed. So for the eye look, I'm going to go into my Chanel Les Beiges palette that came out last year. This is the beautiful 9 shadow palette. Unfortunately, this has been discontinued, which is a huge travesty in my opinion. However, I think that you probably have something similar at home that you can use. I have been looking at photos of Gabrielle Chanel, trying to find color versions of the photos because there were a lot of black and white photos. And I'm also using photos of Audrey Tautou, which is the actress who played Gabrielle Chanel in one of the iconic movies. There are a lot of photos online of her, and I'm going to go ahead and just use that as inspiration as well as the fragrance here. So going into this light color here, I'm going to go ahead and swipe this on the mobile lid. So the original No. 5 perfume came out in 1921. And it was Gabrielle Chanel's first fragrance. Before that, she was a hat maker. And she commissioned the nose. This is the name of the person who creates the scent. A nose can recognize thousands of different scents. The nose is responsible for creating a perfume. Every great perfume house has a nose, and this one at the time was Ernest Brault. So he was commissioned with the task of creating this signature fragrance for Gabrielle Chanel. Now at the time, respectable women only wore fragrances that were made from one flower. So they would only wear an essence of rose or one essence of lilies. You know, they wouldn't wear a perfume that we wear today that is a mix of vanilla and musk and jasmine, etc. Back in the day, in the 1920s, women who wore these complex fragrances were considered loose, or, you know, that type of lady. So it was, I mean, back in the day, it was very easy to be out of line. You know, it seems like everything was frowned upon, everything was shameful. So it didn't take much to be considered a provocative woman back then. Now taking a tapered brush and going into this more cool tone shade. So if we think back to the 1920s, we had just had the First World War, we had the flappers, we had Prohibition in the United States. It was quite a time. And so Gabrielle decided she wanted something revolutionary. She wanted something to break down barriers and just be totally different. So she told Ernest Brault that she wanted a perfume mixed with all of these different essences. She wanted different flowers. She didn't just want one. And so Ernest went and created his perfume. And as legend goes, he gave her a few dozen little vials with the different fragrances, and she picked her favorite, which was the 5th one, No. 5. And so that is how we have the iconic No. 5 perfume. Apparently, Gabrielle also liked the No. 5 in her life. You know how some people have a number that they gravitate towards, it's like their favorite number. Sometimes it has a bit of luck associated with it. I think for Gabrielle, No. 5 was also like that. And when this fragrance came out, the original perfume, it was revolutionary. Literally, no one had seen that before. As I mentioned, women who wore these more complicated fragrances, it was associated with loose women. It wasn't associated with high society, with class, with money. This was just turning the world upside down, basically. And it was a really big hit. I'm going to go into this more warm shade over here. And then taking a big fluffy brush, I'm just blending this out softly. I think what was the most iconic at the time and still is to the day is that one of the main notes in this number 5 fragrance, the original, is the aldehydes, and these are just very airy, powdery floral notes. And of course, mixing all of these garden flower notes like jasmine, neroli, lily of the valley, rose. Did I mention rose already? But it's just very floral, and it was the first of its kind, really. I'm just going to go back over top with this light color here just to make sure it pops. And so, as I mentioned, there have been many different versions since 1921. Most perfume houses do that. Even when they have an iconic signature scent, every couple of years they like to play it up and just switch it up a bit and create something new. And so in 2015, the nose of the Chanel perfume house, Jacques Polge, created Chanel number 5, Eau Première. This is the one that I wear. I find it's a bit softer and lighter than the iconic number 5. And I have to mention that the Eau Première version here, just like the iconic number 5, has this very classic perfume bottle. Anytime you see it, any imitation you see, you know exactly what it's meant to be. It's meant to be number 5. And this was also very methodically thought out by Gabrielle Chanel because she wanted an invisible bottle. She wanted to get rid of overly ornate and decorative bottles. Of course, throughout the times, there have been some slight modifications. Some of the bottles have become more rounded or more square, but the essence of the bottle has stayed the same. And there's something quite minimalistic about the shape here. I really like that it's transparent and you can see through the crystal here. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the under eye and then do the face makeup afterwards. So for the complexion, I'm going to go into my Chanel Les Beiges Water Fresh Tint in the shade Medium. What's interesting about the Eau Première version of the number 5 is that there is a slight hint of vanilla. It's not very present, it's not a vanilla fragrance, but it's still there. And they also added some ylang ylang to the fragrance. Of course, the neroli, rose, and jasmine are still there. It would be quite difficult to do a version of number 5 without having lots of floral accords. So for the concealer, I'm going to go into my Clé de Peau concealer in the shade called Almond. And I'm going to go ahead and set my face with a bit of powder. This is the Chanel Les Beiges number 20. And then for a bit of bronzer, I'm going into my Givenchy Healthy Glow bronzer in number 3. There's something about Eau Première on me I find almost has a soft baby powder, almost bubblegum scent. Those old bubblegums we used to get when we were a kid, and there was a soft powder on the bubblegum. Something about this fragrance reminds me of that, but in a very soft way. It's not like a sickly sweet. Again, that vanilla is really not pronounced whatsoever. It's more just like a soft little sweet scent, but it's very, very minimal. Because let's not forget, this is a number 5 perfume. There are definitely aldehydes in this fragrance, and I think the aldehyde and vanilla mixture gives this really nice, light, sweet baby powder scent. For the blush, I'm going to go into my Chanel Joue Contraste number 72 Rose Initiale. So to finish up the eyes, I'm just going to go ahead and trace this shade right here under the bottom lashes. And now for the highlighter, I'm going to go into my Chanel Metal Peach highlighter. I got this from the holiday collection this year when I was in Paris, so I'm going to go ahead and use this. I wasn't in Paris for the holidays, but I was there in October and November when they had the holiday collection out, so I got it there. Now to finish up the eyes, I'm going to go into my Chanel Style aux Yeux number 88, just a black. I'm going to go ahead and do a thin line on top, and then I'll finish it up with the classic Volume mascara. Okay, so now we have the lips, and I am at a total loss. I have so many options, and I don't know if I should go for a red or a pink. Red lipstick is always a classic, and when I see photos of Gabrielle Chanel, the black and white photos make it appear as though she is wearing a dark lipstick. However, in the few photos that I see in color, it doesn't look like she's wearing red. There is an age difference in the black and white versus color photos, obviously. So that could be why she's wearing different lip colors. I think I will go with a red. I'm gonna go ahead and mix because my normal tendency is to go for the brightest orange red, and I'm not exactly sure this is the look that I'm going for. I think I want something a bit more neutral, so I'm gonna go ahead and mix and match. As you can see, I have quite a selection to choose from here. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix a few colors. I'm going to use this lip liner here, number 174, Rouge Tendre, and this lipstick, this is the Rouge Allure Velvet, number 58, Rouge V, which is definitely darker, so we're gonna go ahead and make a creation here. Okay, I think this is the finished look. I think going for a red lipstick was a good idea. There's something so iconic about a red lip. I mean, how can you go wrong, really? So let me know down in the comments which version of the Chanel number 5 is your favorite. Do you have a favorite version? Do you prefer the moisturizers? They have a huge catalog of products in the number 5 category, like body powder, body butters. They also have bubble bath or bath oils. I think the bath oils are something that I've seen online and then discontinued and possibly came back. That one I'm not so sure of. And there's also a few body sprays that I really want to get. There's one in the number 5 L'Eau category that's an all over body spray. That one I really want to get next. It just seems so fresh and light. But anyway, let me know down in the comments what is your favorite. If you guys happen to enjoy today's video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Those are all things that help my channel grow. If you are new to my channel, I love luxury makeup, obviously. And whenever I get new collections, I will create several different looks with the same items. So you guys at home really get a sense on how to use up all of your makeup, because I don't just use one eyeshadow once and then forget about it. I will use it and reuse it over and over again. And I also like to mix and match new and old collections together. So if that sounds interesting, please subscribe. Okay, I think this is all I have for you guys for today. So thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.